Have you been thinking about moving to Murrieta, California, but maybe you're not sure exactly where you want to live inside of the city? Maybe you've talked to some locals and heard us talk about East versus West Murrieta, and it all sounds the same to you. Today, I want to break down for you the differences between living in East Murrieta versus West Murrieta. There's a little bit of a different feel, and I want to explain all of the nuance to you so you know exactly where you should be looking when the time comes. So let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Lewis, your local Temecula Valley realtor, and this channel is dedicated to all things living in the Temecula Valley, from new construction tours to neighborhood spotlights to new things coming here to the valley. I want you and your family to know exactly what it's like living here before you make the move. Let's get to it. All right, as I said, today we are breaking down East versus West Murrieta. If you live here in the area, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not from the area and you've just been thinking about Murrieta in general, this should be super helpful for you. They have a bit of a different feel between the two, and I want to share with you the pros and the cons on each side. So here we go. Let's start with East Murrieta. So this is going to be basically when we're looking at East versus West, we really have the 15 freeway. That runs north and south through Murrieta, and what I would call to the east of the 15 freeway is really what we're looking at for East Murrieta. To the west of the 15 freeway is really what we would call West Murrieta. So as you look at the map there, that should help you out. But let's start off with some of the pros to living in East Murrieta. Pro number one is that East Murrieta is going to come with some newer homes and developments. So sure, there are some older homes that are a little bit closer to the freeway and kind of on the border of East versus West, but as you head a little bit further east into Murrieta, it's going to have a newer feel to it. Most homes there were built in the early 2000s or newer, and so most of them are going to come with some open floor plans, open concepts, some smart home devices, maybe some upgrades that you wouldn't see in some of the homes that were built in the 80s and the 90s here in the area. So you're going to have a little bit newer feel, especially as you move further east into Murrieta when it comes to the east side. Pro number two on the east side is that you're a little bit closer to shopping and dining options. When you're on the east side of Murrieta, you actually border neighboring Temecula, and you're super close to the Temecula Promenade Mall. That's just a few minutes away. You've got quick access into Temecula for Costco, or even further up into Murrieta for the Murrieta Costco. You've got more retail around the area, more shopping, more dining options, more grocery stores. It's just a little bit more developed on the east side. So if you're looking for quick access to things and you don't really love the idea of having to hop on the freeway for 5 or 10 minutes, then the east side has much more to offer. Pro number three is that the east side of Murrieta comes with more master planned communities. We've got communities like Spencer's Crossing and Rancho Bella Vista, and each of those comes with more hiking and walking trails and parks, and a little bit more to offer as far as a neighborhood and a community feel. It's gonna have a little bit more family vibes to some of those areas as well, just because those are amenities that oftentimes families are looking for. And so because of that, the more master planned communities on the east side offer a little bit different feel than what you would see on the west side of Murrieta. And pro number four is quicker access to Temecula. So we always say on the channel, when it comes to entertainment, Temecula just has a lot more to do with Old Town Temecula, the mall, the casino, all of that. And if you live on the east side of Murrieta, you have much quicker access into Temecula, and oftentimes you can completely avoid the freeway, which we know can be quite a mess during rush hour traffic to get into the Temecula area. So kind of gives you the back door into Temecula and quick access to all of the entertainment and dining that you might be looking for living in the area. Now let's move on to the cons of living on the east side of Murrieta. Con number one is going to be traffic and congestion. To get to the east side of Murrieta, you are using Winchester Road off of the 15, which brings you through Temecula and into East Murrieta, or you're taking Murrieta Hot Springs, and that road can get quite congested. I told you there's a lot of master plan communities, a lot more shopping, a lot more retail, a lot more things going on in East Murrieta, and that comes with some congestion. it can take you oftentimes as you exit the 15 freeway at Murrieta Hot Springs. If you live on the far east side of Murrieta, it could be 15 to 20 minutes at times with some traffic just to get home off of the freeway. So that is something that you want to weigh out before considering the east side. Con number 2, I would say, are smaller home lot sizes on the east side of Murrieta. So I'm not saying they're tiny. There are absolutely homes with massive backyards in East Murrieta, but as a general rule, especially in these master planned communities, builders look to see how many homes they can get in there, and they may start chopping off lot sizes in order to build additional homes. And that's just what they've done here. So your average lot size is gonna be 7,400 square feet. There are some smaller, there are some significantly larger, but as a general rule, you're gonna see smaller lot sizes on the east side of Murrieta. If you're looking for something with a quarter acre, a half acre, or anything like that, it's just not gonna be an option for the east side of Murrieta with all of those communities, all of the retail, everything packed in there as tight as it is. And con number 3 would just be some less mature landscaping. So we have people come here from Orange County or certain parts of San Diego, and they'll make comments of like, oh wow, like it just is not as lush and green with all the greenery as where we're coming from. And that's because a lot of those cities were developed, in the 1950s, 1960s, or even earlier. So they've had a lot of time to mature with some of the landscaping. And East Murrieta being relatively newer, again, talking about a lot of developments being built in the 2000s or later, means just a little bit less mature landscaping. So sure, there are areas that will have more and it will look nice and green, but there are areas still with little baby trees just waiting to grow, and that will come over time, but it's something to consider. You'll definitely feel a different vibe when you get to the west side of Murrieta. Now let's talk about West Murrieta. One of the pros to living in West Murrieta is more established neighborhoods. You're gonna have tree-lined streets, some really nice views, a little bit slower pace, which we'll talk on, but you've got established neighborhoods like Copper Canyon and Bear Creek. Go ahead and check out the videos on our channel here to check out those neighborhoods specifically, but they're a little bit more established, and so you're going to have some of that mature landscaping that we were just talking about that East Murrieta does not have. Pro number 2 for West Murrieta is going to be larger lots, usually no HOA. Most of the homes are going to come with a larger lot than what you're going to see on the east side of Murrieta. Now, there are still homes that are going to have the same size lot, and you're going to have, 7,400 square feet of a lot, just like on the east side, but there are much more options on the west side if you're looking for a quarter acre, half acre, 1 acre, 5 acres. You have a lot more options on the west side of Murrieta with that, and fewer HOAs on the west side. Now, if we're getting into Bear Creek, you're absolutely gonna have an HOA, but big neighborhoods like the Ranchos and Copper Canyon, they do not have an HOA, which some people see as a huge pro to keep affordability down. Pro number 3 are top-rated schools. Now, East Murrieta has some great schools as well, and certain parts of East Murrieta even get to take advantage of Temecula schools, but the west side of Murrieta does take the cake for the top-rated schools. You've got schools like Cole Canyon Elementary, Thompson Middle School, Murrieta Valley High School, all scoring among the top schools in Murrieta. So if you're looking for great schools, a lot of people seek out those specific schools and move to neighborhoods with those specific zonings for that reason. So the west side wins for a little bit better on the school side. And pro number 4 is a quieter, more suburban feel. So we said that East Murrieta is super developed and has all of the things. West Murrieta is a little bit less developed, has some mature neighborhoods, things are less tightly packed together, and not as many retail options. So for most people, they see that as a pro. That's why they choose the west side. There's just less going on, less traffic, just a slower pace of life compared to being on the east side and jam-packed with all the traffic and action activity that's happening all of the time. Now let's move on to the cons for West Murrieta. Con number 1, also kind of a pro on the other side, is that it's a bit further from shopping, retail, and restaurants. So the west side of Murrieta is limited on some of those options. If you live on the west side of Murrieta, if you're looking to get out for dining, you're probably going to head to Wildomar, to some shopping centers there that have some retail and dining. You might head into Old Town Murrieta, but that's just not as robust as Temecula or what you would see in the east side of Murrieta. So the options are limited, and if you're going to go to the mall, you gotta hop on the freeway. If you're gonna go to any of the bigger stores, you're probably gonna have to hop on the freeway or just drive a little bit further than what you would have to do living on the east side. Con number 2 would be some older homes. So homes in the West Murrieta area, you've got some stuff in the 80s, but mostly in the 90s, and then maybe into the early 2000s. There have been some newer developments coming in, but just nowhere near as much as we've seen on the east side. So a little bit older home, not significantly. We're not talking something built in the 50s or 60s, but with some of those 90s floor plans, they're gonna feel a little bit more choppy than what you might get in East Murrieta, where you're seeing some new developments with wide open floor plans and open concept there. So it's gonna feel a little bit choppier potentially on some of those floor plans, and potentially you're going to need to come into some of those homes and do some updates if they were kind of left in that 90s original condition. And con number 3 to the west side would just be limited new construction options. The area is more rural. There's a lot more larger plots of land that take things up and stop building from happening. So there have been some apartment complexes and some of those things being brought into the west side that was already zoned and approved a while ago. But as far as new construction, new homes to own, that just doesn't happen much on the west side because a lot of it's built out and some of those larger lots have taken up some of that land, which just doesn't allow for large communities to be planted there. So if you're looking to get yourself a brand new home on the west side of Murrieta, the options there are limited, although there are some potentials coming in the distant future. If you want some information on that, please reach out. We've got some of the preliminary plans on what could be coming. We'd be happy to share that with you. All right, so that is it for our breakdown on East Murrieta versus West Murrieta. I personally have lived in both of them, so I can speak the truth on each, and those pros and cons are pretty realistic. I do feel like when you come to explore our area, you should explore both sides, and usually when we do that with someone who's reached out to us from our YouTube channel, they love one versus the other. It's still the same city, but it just feels different. So we'd love to tour you around and let you see Murrieta and make the decision for yourself on which one would be better for you. Feel free to reach out to my team. That's what we're here for. We make these videos to get the conversation started, provide you some information, but we'd love to have a chat with you. You can reach out to us. You can give us a call. You can shoot us a text. You can send an email. And you can even schedule a one-on-one Zoom consultation with a member of my team. Just click into the description below and you can log straight onto our calendar, book some time with us, and we can hop on one of those Zoom calls to discuss moving to the Temecula Valley, Murrieta. Is it right for you? Even if you're early on, please reach out. We would love to start that conversation and help you decide if this is the right area for you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you next time.